the automatic ball strike system versus the old strike zone. Let's break down the differences, what we like about it, what we might see changed in the future. So let's just start with the basics. The plate is 17 inches wide across the front. The baseball is another 3 1/8 inches on both sides. A definition of a strike by the old strike zone was if any part of the ball, including the stitches, passes and clips any piece of home plate on either side, that ball would be called a strike according to the old strike zone. With the new ABS system, the determination of whether the ball's passing through the zone has been moved back to the middle of the plate. That's 8.5 inches further back from where it was being judged before. So the difference is pitches that are coming in, hard cutters, sliders that are coming across at an angle like that, which traditionally would have been called a strike, will now be determined to be a ball by the ABS. Even if the umpire originally calls it a strike, if it's challenged, that's not going to pick that up. It would have to cross the plate here. It's going to have to come through at a different angle for that to be determined a strike with the ABS system. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I think for the batters it's a good thing. It means that the ball has to come further into the zone, which is going to allow them to square it up more frequently. For the pitchers, obviously, I think it's a bad thing. As it stands right now, each team is given 2 challenges during the game, but the challenges are different than the safes or outs or a steal at second base where they can do the earmuffs and then they have to go look at the play. The ABS system can only be initialized by the participants in the play. So the batter, the catcher, or the pitcher can challenge the ball strike call. The caveat to that is you only get 2 challenges a game. If you're wrong, you lose a challenge. Once you lose the second challenge, you're done for the game in the current ABS system. Will that change in the future? I think so. My recommendation would be starting in the 7th inning, each team got 1 additional, and then every extra inning, you got 1 additional because they're high leverage innings, high leverage pitches. So that might be something we see in the future. So this is going to change the game. I think it's going to be implemented later in the game. Seems to be the trend right now because you don't want to miss them and you need them later in the game in a more high leverage situation. But it's going to change where these pitches are called strikes. It obviously, I think it has really good intentions, and I think off the bat it's a positive thing, but I think it needs to be tweaked. My recommendation would be bring it up about halfway. That way this pitch coming across there is still going to be a strike, even if it's called out here. Same thing if the ball's called out here as it comes across the zone there. So I think if you move that line up, it's a good compromise between the old strike zone and the new ABS strike zone. As with all the rule changes in the last couple of years, I think it's good for baseball, and I think it's good for the fans. So good job, MLB. Keep it up.